Hello? Can you see me? Hello? Why did it all go dark? Hi everyone. How's this for an angle? Apart from that bit of hair that's falling out. Well, falling forward. Hopefully it's not falling out. Hi everyone. You see me okay? Does it look nicer? There's an actual camera looking at me rather than a webcam. Hi everyone. Hi Steve. Hi Jenway. Hi Mikhail. Hi Paul. Thank you for joining me. I don't really know what this is. Well, it's top 10 something, isn't it? I'm a bit quiet, am I? Or I'm a bit low down in the chair. I can make me louder if I'm quiet. Hi. I'm working on making me louder. Whoops. Is that a bit louder? I'm a bit quiet. Let me pump that up. Is that louder? Hello? Can you hear me? That is me speaking louder as well. I shouldn't do that. Hi everyone. How's it going? Tea is far too hot, and I knew that as the cup was coming up to my mouth. So this is more than anything, more than any kind of proper top 10 thing here. This is just a video really to mark the 5th anniversary of the channel. It's been 5 years of making stuff somehow, which seems crazy. I mean, it's always been nice as this date's passed around that, oh yeah, I remember. It sticks in my mind as the anniversary of when I started doing this. For some reason, I don't know why, because it's a very important date. It's Rach and I's anniversary tomorrow, and for some reason, this date is the beacon that leads to that. I don't know why, because this happened afterwards. Volume fine for everyone now? We should be all in the yellow and stuff. Maybe, Paul, maybe. I've got a weird new... How does it all look this way around? It's confusing me a little bit, because rather than looking at a camera on the monitor and looking at you, the chat's over here. I have to kind of look away from it all. So yes, big week of videos and stuff. Couple of late night streams later on in the week. There's a Mage Night one that I imagine is going to be scary long tomorrow. we'll see how into the early hours a solo conquest goes before it gets put off to another time. But also, yeah, there's a special Quacks of Quedlinburg. This was suggested by someone. I wish I'd written down your name because I think it's a great suggestion and hopefully it goes very well. Where you, as a team of the audience, will play against me and you'll probably easily beat me. You can be on Team Marty, in fact, who works so well to beat me usually. And then there'll be Isle of Cats and Maracaibo, a normal playthrough, will be on Friday as well. All of this, most of the last 5 years, has all been funded by, oh, I can kind of point to it properly in this big view, can't I? By Patreon. Thank you very much to everyone who supports me on there. I can see a lot of you in the chat. Thank you for helping keep all of this going, no matter how long you've been watching. I know that some of you have been here for a long time and supported me in the Kickstarters and stuff, but whenever you came along, that's the other reason that I'm literally here today doing all of this and practicing other games and stuff. You can't see it. I've taken the button off the table cam. I've been playing Cloudspire to try and practice and keep it in my mind. When is my adoptiversary chat celebration for Marty? I think that's in July. I should find out a picture actually. I should put it on the Discord or something. If you're a patron, you get to join the Discord where the big draw, I think, is the pictures of Pets channel. I know you can get a lot of that on the internet anyway, but those pets aren't Marty. But yeah, you can sit in the box lid of Isle of Cats. But I've got a little picture of him when he was a little kitten sitting on my shoulder, and there's a video of when he first came home with us, jumping up the. He'd never seen stairs. Of him jumping up the stairs for the first time. It's lovely. When he was just all cuteness and didn't have his bitey, greedy streak to him. He was probably always greedy for food. Should check in on him, see if he's moved the camera. Oh, there he is. How could anything that sweet scratch and squeal? So yes, make sure you press the right button to bring it back and don't make it go all black for ages again. Yes, it's 5 years today, 2016, when I just decided to pick up a camera and start making these things, and somehow it turned into all of this business. How did that happen? Yes, Isle of Cat's coming. Gaming Rules versus Slickerdrips. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. Well, we were against each other in Mage Knight. You can see that. Maybe I suspect at one point I really enjoyed doing the. If you haven't seen it already, last week we did a dual solo stream where we played solo but both made all of the decisions. So yeah, up for doing that again because we really helped each other out get through that scenario. Even though there's a bit of an asterisk on it now when you look back and look at all the rules and stuff, but hey, it doesn't matter. It matters in the moment, right? So yeah, I'd like to do one of those again. But also, there's a co-op mode of Cloudspire where you're playing like a big 2v2 game, and so you're on the same team essentially. We tried to do that, Rach and I, when I'd played about a game of it, and Rach hadn't played any games of it. That was a bad idea. You need to know what you're doing to play all of the co-op and stuff. No, I don't think we're ready for co-op yet. Yes, I have been around forever. I've been around for 5 years. That is forever now, isn't it? I keep feeling like I'm this tiny new channel that no one's heard of, and no, I am this medium-sized old channel that no one has heard of. Yeah, you need to know so much. I'm still looking up, and that's like in Too Many Bones. Even I was still looking up all of the abilities and stuff. Loads of games in. It's just a fact of how much variation there is in that. But Cloudspire will be coming. I think I'm going to be trying some more Cloudspire next week. I thought I would practice to keep it going in my head. That's what I did with Mage Knight, and I'm playing that. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, that should all still be in my head. What I'm doing in that, even though it's been a couple of weeks now. But I did a great big solo conquest by myself, and I think it went all right. So hopefully we can get to that stage with Cloudspire. And like Mage Knight, and I've done them a bit often to start with, but once they're all locked in my head, I can keep doing these things every so often. It's one of the benefits of doing live stuff that I don't feel like I've just got to keep going to the next game and the next game. We can go back to some of these things and see what else is in them, because there's loads of scenarios in all of this stuff. Hi Joshua, thank you for watching, and thank you for enjoying all of the videos. Thank you everyone that is watching back later as well. Whether you watch back later or not, like and subscribe and comment and stuff. YouTube likes it when you do that. It tells YouTube that you like me. Hi, thank you. Doing the work thing. Oh, well, so am I actually, aren't I? I'm doing one of my work things. So, should we get to the top 10? So I said, it's probably a while ago now, it's not really a top 10, is it? I vaguely thought, I need to do some kind of anniversary top 10. What's that going to be? Top 10 videos? It can't be top 10 games, I've done that. It can't be top 10 top 10s. People, unsurprisingly, weren't so receptive about that idea, because it would not, I suspect, be a great video. So it's just kind of 10 standout kind of moments in the journey of this channel, and maybe I'll talk about some things that are on here that maybe you haven't seen if you haven't been around here for a while, and hopefully they're still worth checking out. A couple of them are. I was watching them today. They're mighty fine. So, where is my buttons? Oh yes, I will make my little robot say, go and check out the Patreon, which will be good for anyone watching and anyone watching back later. Hopefully the chat replay's all there. I'll put a timestamp in so you can skip straight to the top 10 if you want, but this whole top 10 is just about having a chat and stuff, really. It's not about what the best game is. We've already covered that. It's Gloomhaven. Now we can move on to other topics. Now we've all agreed that, right? So number one, and hopefully all of the transitions and everything will work out fine here. Number one, is that okay? Hopefully you can't hear this video and you can just hear me now. So here we go. This is right back at the start of things. Oh yeah, I'm going to keep watching the video and getting distracted by it. He sped up a little bit because he was very, very, very slow. This, if you go and watch back, and it actually keeps getting a fair load of videos, a load of views. This is the first video I ever made. This is the Castles of Burgundy, the card game. I can't really remember why, the where and what of all of it. I know that I'd gotten a ton of board games over the last couple of years or so. I'd watched loads of videos about it and really loved playthroughs most of all. I can't remember what the drive that day was though to get my phone out and film one. but I did it. It was all stacked on. You can't see the tripod because it's supporting the multicam right now, but it was my phone stacked on like a Poundland tripod and a load of cardboard boxes to get it high enough. And I used to have to pick games like this that would fit into that like tiny frame size. And I don't think people had really done videos about this at the time. That was one of the things that I remember looking through Board Game Geek and just seeing, oh no, yeah, people have done that, Rado's done that, blah blah blah. What haven't they got to yet? Okay, this the Castles of Burgundy, the card game. I'll do that. I've got that. I've played that a lot recently. I know how that works. I can't remember if I beat Aaron, is the AI opponent in this. I was thinking I should do like a 5 years on playthrough of it, but I don't think I would be as good at it now. I had played it a load, leading up to it, and instead of doing that this time, now it seems silly. I was making all of these other videos and live things. Steve, it's the first video you watched of mine. What did you earning? 6 months to a year after you posted it. Yeah, I think the people that saw that video when it came around, it must have been like it was like a surprising little surge. Like the day that I filmed it, I didn't put it up. I had it on my phone, and I was wondering what to do with it. And then when Rach came home from work that day, because like Wednesdays were my work from home day, so I'd like finished that and then filmed this. And then when Rach came home, I showed it to her, and she was kind of confused and surprised, I think, that I'd done this thing, and was very encouraging and pushy in a good way to just put it up. You've made it. Why wouldn't you now put it out there? Which I'm very glad of, because it would have been a very different time, wouldn't it, if that had never gone up and started things. Because yeah, I'm not really the kind of person that does this kind of thing. I'm not the person that does a lot of this stuff. I am now, of course, because I have done it. So I clearly am. But I wouldn't have thought I was. I really enjoy Castles of Burgundy, the card game, as well. I think you can, I don't know if you can make it out kind of on this shelf. It'll be all tiny and out of focus, but it's still there. I love Castles of Burgundy, the main game, the most still. Although, having said that, at 4 players, like, because I've played so many games at 2 players, we had one when we play games at 4 players, we realise sometimes, oh, this game takes ages compared to how snappy it is and how used to everything we are at 2 players. And just games where you take in turns, that's going to happen. And Castles of Burgundy, I'd say, is one where at 4 players, it feels a bit slow. As much as I like everything that's going on, it feels like a long time until it's your turn again. Whereas the card game, I didn't feel that as much. The dice game, I can't really remember what I thought about that. I think I thought like I was on rails a little bit too much. I can't really remember. But hey, this is the start of it. No mat, no lights, no nothing. Just filming with filming. I think opposite a window as well. So not even that much light is getting in there. Whenever I see kind of the beginning of any of these back now, I kind of think he's talking very slowly and very quietly. Not that I speak particularly quickly now, but yeah, it's just it feels a little bit like a dirge, especially since I edit my videos, the edited ones that I still do, on 2 times speed a lot of the time, apart from when you have to do like a pass to make sure it all sounds okay now. I edit a lot of it and watch a lot of stuff at 2 times speed, so loads of this seems slow now. But there we go. That is the beginning of it all. If you want to go all the way back there, and you can see all sorts of different things on the channel from back at that time, where like I think I posted it to Board Game Geek anyway that night, and I think I maybe would have had like 3-4 subscribers or something like that, because you have to make a channel, and that's why the channel is called Slickerdrips, just because that's what it was called. Or it might have just been my email address. I didn't have a channel, and I had no intention of really making a channel, so I just called it something, which is just my username on stuff. It doesn't really mean anything now. It's a song name. Check it out. Maybe that should have been one of the numbers on there. I don't want to get copyright claimed though. But yeah, it still looks all right. He's just a bit slow and unsure of himself. So I don't know, some of these steps. I think there's a lot of these items early on, and then I think time jumps on. But I remember really quite clearly. Number 2 is our first holiday together, Rachel and I, and pretty much my first holiday like abroad anywhere. Like we went to Florida in 2016, which I'd never been. I think I'd been to like France and Spain, but I'd never been to like a big holiday like that. So I was all pumped for that. But I'd started this, and early on, which I ended up thinking, I need to stop like a schedule. I used to try and make sure there was a video every Wednesday and Saturday. I think I'd read that you need to have this kind of consistency out there, and that you needed like 2 videos a week or something. I can't remember. I was still doing it on my days off. So trying to do something on Wednesday and Sunday meant that, all weekend was to do with just making videos. I eventually had to stop that. But I thought, we're going on this holiday for 2 weeks. I've just started this, and it's starting to get a bit of, maybe there was like 100 or something people subscribing. I thought, I want to keep this up. I'm really enjoying doing this. So I had a load of videos. I think this was one, and Kanban was one. All of these things that I had filmed like really, really quickly. Like in 1 week, I went mad and just filmed as much as I could. And then we went to Florida, and I could just about kind of I couldn't have mobile internet and stuff. I think I was at like Disneyland while I was supposed to be doing a holiday. I was trying to get signal on my phone and stuff to make videos live and then look at comments and stuff. But like Scythe in particular, I picked not just because it was one of those that at the time suddenly started getting way more views than anything that I'd made before. But I see now, because of the popularity of the game, and still, when you look at all of the analytics and stuff of what's getting watched each month, and it's usually, hopefully, a lot of it is the stuff that you've just made, because you want that to be exciting to people. A lot of the time still, in that top 10 somewhere, Scythe will keep popping up, because I can only assume because the game itself is so popular and has found a massive audience, which is fantastic. My video's got some mistakes in it though, but that's kind of a thing, isn't it? You've got to expect mistakes in my videos at this point. But yeah, I thought, should I revisit Scythe at some point? Would people watch a new one though? Is it just that one's got so many views and it's like a cycle now? I don't know. Paul, you got slickerdrips once. I've had it for 5 years. Slickerdrips. Maybe I should have made this a separate item. Slickerdrips is the name of a song by the White Stripes. As far as I can tell, the song has got nothing to do with what Slickerdrips is. I just guessed that, like those, like Georgie's wearing in it, those yellow raincoats, something that like Paddington or something would wear. What they dress Ben up in Friends when Monica's hit him against the beam in the ceiling. You know that one, right? One of them raincoats. That's a slicker, isn't it? So if it's raining, slicker drips. Again, the song's got nothing to do with any of that, but that's what I thought it meant. And then I realised now, it's one of those things that, should I at some point have changed the channel name to something? Now it seems mad to change it at this point, but maybe I should have called it Slicker Games or something. Because it always surprises me still. Some people have got an aversion to that name. I know, Steve, right? Mistakes. I make mistakes. Yeah, that's before the days of Steve is the official Goof Wrangler. He makes the Klingon subtitles as well as comments from people still pointing out the goofs. Steve is the first to hunt almost all of them down, and there are a lot more than end up in the final ones. These are the pre-Steve days where I was rushing through a game to go on holiday and just like I need to have these things ready. Let's still try and make as good a video as possible. I thought I was playing the game right. There's just some positioning things with the AI and stuff. Anyway, let's just sit here and watch Scythe a bit. Let's turn it off though, because it's handheld, isn't it? So all of this led to still, what maybe had like 300 subscribers or something at this point. Towards the end of the year, I had kind of always assumed it would be really expensive to go abroad or something, to even to like Germany and stuff, and finally just looked it up. I think about 3 weeks before the actual event happened, and I ended up going to, I don't think this is a very impressive picture, I ended up going to Essen in 2016. Which is, again, it's not something that I would really do. I don't really go to places like that. I don't really go anywhere on my own very much. And so, yeah, I just ventured out on my own. Where did I stay? Duisburg, It's kind of a city, a few, like half an hour out of Essen, I think, just because it was cheap and available, and just went there, not really as part of the channel, I suppose, but I include it kind of in this because I only went because I was doing all of this. Primarily, I was thinking of it as, I have heard so much about Essen. I have watched people's videos at Essen. When Rodder used to make those ones where he used to run about with the camera, he literally ran through Essen. And it looked, so impressive and fantastic and daunting. And it was all of those things. But I think, if I've got a video here, this is me. Well, if I was lying down, this would be my view of rainy Manchester Airport really, really early in the morning. I think I had to get a crazy early flight. Look, I don't really take that many pictures as well. I realised that I've got some videos to have anchors for these top 10 bits, but in terms of like places that I've been, unless I made videos for them, I don't really have many pictures. I didn't take pictures of the plane and the wider convention and stuff, but I did take a picture here of Vitor Lacerda showing off Lisboa in its prototype form in all the they're just printed bits and cardboard stuff as far as I can remember. Is there more pictures? Yes, Gloomhaven was there in its prototype form. I remember being so excited about that. I was a backer at the start of Gloomhaven, as I know many people were. And this was like the first time that there'd been updates and stuff all over the place, of course. And oh yeah, that's where I met. Is that where I met you, Paul? Well, I didn't. I met Paul at the UK Games Expo. Actually, maybe that was before. That was like weeks before I think the channel ever started. Was it? I don't know. But the UK Games Expo, when you were doing the Prodigals Club, I think that might have been a year before I was making videos and stuff. I can't remember what year that game was. Like 2015 maybe. Paul was in a top hat. That's why I always use that picture whenever I can. That's when I think of Paul Grogan. I think of Paul Grogan in that top hat and old timey dress. Well, yeah, I remember now that this is where we met at the booth because you were there, and that was the copy of Gloomhaven that you were taking away. I think in another picture, I've got your like massive suitcase is visible as well. I don't know if you would remember because I wasn't making videos or anything. I was just a punter wanting to be shown the Prodigals Club because I was excited about it. I hope you're wearing that top hat now. I need to keep that picture handy. I didn't put it on the Cloud Spy one. I should have put it on. But yeah, just roaming around, being all excited about games. I don't think I'd asked anyone. I probably hadn't really gotten to the stage of being confident about it enough to ask anyone to give me a game or anything like that. I remember a Porter Games actually. It's like loads of people have been super helpful along the way. And in terms of companies, yeah, Porter Games is one that pretty much from the beginning, from this Essen, Eilif had seen my videos and was really complimentary and encouraging, as loads of people were. That's the trouble when you start naming people, that then it starts to get into the territory of you're going to miss someone off and hurt their feelings, which I don't intend. But is there? Oh yeah, I shouldn't. Is there more pictures? Oh, I met Rado. Look at that guy. Look at that goofy, bespectacled guy. And then that's that's all of the cardboard that I got rid of to try and get my bags down to their size. Not particularly impressive pictures, I know, but that's all apparently I kept from my first Essen picture. That is... I'm sure there was a picture of the games that I took. Maybe it was on Twitter or something. I don't know if I had a Twitter account then. But that was the year of the Colonists. Was that Feast for Odin? The word, like, that isn't even a massive amount of games because I had to bring most of those games back in my suitcase. And then at the time we had a local game shop, and Nick, well, it was Shy Games. It's not there anymore, unfortunately. But Nick of Shy Games helped me bring a load of other things back. I was buying it all. I wasn't coming back with a lot of stuff. Hi, Tony Boydell. Thank you for stopping by. Where was I? Yes, Essen is my grail thing. Yes, that's the whole reason for this, really. That as I mentioned, I had seen so many videos like this of just snippets of all of these designers, of Tony Boydell showing off his various Snowdonias and Ivor the Engines and stuff in all of these, UK Games Expo or Essen preview videos. And so yeah, I was really, really hyped to get to go there, even though I was just going as just a person, just a goon on his own, wandering around. So yeah, Essen 2016. It was amazing. Next up is a video again that I don't know if you would have seen it. It is. Oh, look at that. Look, he's got a Lego man's haircut. Look at it. It's so stuck down and just uniform. But if we let this play for a little bit, it's not gonna reveal what it is for ages. This is the first anniversary of the channel. Look who it is. It's sped up a little bit. This is the first anniversary of the channel, and it's the one time I think for an anniversary I've had a really good idea. I've got a couple of things that I would like to do, but yeah, look at that young go-getter there. The moon in his eyes, the world in his hands. But yeah, I really like this idea. I know that it's got a surprising number of views now, actually. I get comments on this. I get messages. I got a message the other week asking if someone could buy my copy of this. It's available on eBay if you really want it. This is the Supermarket Sweep board game. I think you should go and watch that video right now, even if you don't want to watch the whole playthrough, because I do play through the game, and it is just it's a 90s UK TV tie-in game, which is basically, it's roll and move. It's got some trivia and stuff, but so did the game show. You're going around collecting all of these things and stuff. I made, we do this little thing, me and Paul, at the beginning. Paul does the voiceover as if it was Supermarket Sweep, and I made, oh yeah, thanks, Paul. I should have gotten links for these things. I did, I think I hummed the theme tune. I made, all that, you could see that montage there was, I made all of that stuff and pieced it all together. It's so much fun. I know that generally it's just normal board game playthroughs. The things that I pick up on and the things that I've listed, you will learn from this top 10. The things that stick in my mind the most and that I am proudest of are maybe not all the ones that got the most views, but the ones that are the daftest. Really, I really like it. It's a beauty, I think. I don't know. Yeah, again, you don't stick around for the whole thing unless you are kind of engaged in a game for the nostalgia of the TV show, which I had. 9:25 in the weekdays when you were off school sick. Go wild in the aisles and off your trolleys. I might just sit here and watch it. I've still got it as well. You can't see it quite on camera, but that's my actual game as well from my childhood. Yeah, the quirkiest things I really like. You'll see a couple of things later on, I think, that are the the stranger things, but I just like that kind of, a lot of what I do as well when I film these things and I edit them down. Editing's not really my favourite part, because a lot of editing the playthroughs is just cutting out silence and putting transitions in and stuff, and I do more now. There's colour correction and stuff involved now, and kind of tweaking audio around so sentences made more sense, or there wasn't massive gaps in sentences where there didn't need to be. Generally editing is cutting out silences. Whereas when I make things like this, and at least a couple more in this list, it's kind of actual editing. I'm piecing together all of this stuff from, as you could see it from that intro bit, I'm dropping tiles all over the place, and you can see Marty. I'm zooming in on Dale Winton. There isn't really a plan to any of it all, but I really like, as I'll talk about this more on a later entry, I really like how it kind of morphs into a proper video from a load of nonsense. Tony, you had programs for school when you were off sick from school. It doesn't sound as exciting as Supermarket Sweep, to be honest, but it's probably more educational. Well, it's the schools in the title. Well deduced. You had Supermarket. There was a US version of Supermarket Sweep, right? I watched it. I watched bits of it when I was trying to find the clips on YouTube of the UK version, so I could get the. I remember the theme tune. Who can forget that? I had the CD single of the if you if you want your heart broke, listen to the dance mix of I can't remember the name of the song now. There is a Supermarket Sweep theme tune dance mix thing. Oh yeah, I've got the CD single of that somewhere. But yeah, there's a much more normal looking game show version in America. But hey, it took good old Dale. His kind of his attitude just made Supermarket Sweep what it was. Flashing Blade and Aeronauts on school holidays. They do sound exciting, actually. Maybe Supermarket Sweep wasn't quite the best. Well, no, it was really. It's just people running around supermarkets. But when they've done it since with kind of guest presenters and stuff, not been as exciting. Even though they did like a version in like the 2000s where it was celebrities doing it. I know because Vic Reeves was on it, and I used to hunt around for things that Vic and Bob were on. But I still do, to a lesser extent. But yeah, not as good. So yeah, Supermarket Sweep. Check it out if you like. Paul has linked it in the chat, and he's in it. I really like that video. Still, 4 years ago that was made now, but yeah, it's a great one. It's mighty fine. What is number 5? Number 5 is probably not too long after this, so we're in 2017 now, right? And we're at number 5. Number 5 is, oh, look at that guy again. I should have censored all of the pictures of myself and made them look more. Well, just pasted bits of me on there. I did a Kickstarter. Another thing that's, it's not a promotion. I'm not on Kickstarter anymore. Wait for a later entry for that. But yeah, this was another massive thing. This had kind of been nervously built up for ages and ages and ages. Of just like, if you launch this, especially with a Kickstarter, you have to have a goal and stuff. And if you don't meet that goal, you don't get anything. Will this even work? What do you set it at? What can you give people for all of this stuff? I remember it being really funny right in the description of all this. I think that one thing that through my iterations on Kickstarter and various funding things, yeah, I've toned down some of the weirdness in the descriptions and stuff. But yeah, I don't know how much there is to show you from the campaign page and stuff. I like that picture. I put the Supermarket Sweep video on the page and that. But yeah, this is kind of the first step to people. Like, I don't know how many people were watching at this point, but enough that I thought that maybe this could work with more pushes from Rach and stuff and asking various people's advice over it all. Yeah, when this all finally worked out, and you've still got to make all of the videos and everything and keep it growing, but that people pledged like it was like £2,500, like just over like a year into the channel. Oh, it's amazing, and I'm still like, I would change what I look like, but hey, I've found over the years it's me that's got the biggest problem with me in glasses, but I didn't for that period. So there they are still. So that is number 5. Kind of launching into doing it a bit more as well. That I think I still only had one day. I think the work from home day eventually morphed into slickerdrips from home day. Still doing it, mostly night times and weekends and stuff. And I could do that more because a lot of the games I was doing were things that I had already, or I was getting sent stuff, but we had time to play it, and I had the kind of backlog of we've played Feast for Odin or something loads of times already. I'm used to what this does. Or Mr. Nosybonk. I've only heard reference to Mr. Nosybonk as being some kind of terrifying thing in an otherwise reasonable children's program. What's next? Oh, we back at, here we go, revisiting a similar entry. We're back at not a very exciting picture montage of Essen 2017. I don't even have a picture of us all there. In 2017, and not all the Essens are going to be on here, don't worry, it's not just going to be all of that. Our friend Dan and Rach, like Rach is a teacher, Rach is my girlfriend. We play pretty much everything together. She's a teacher, and so she can't really go to Essen. So this really stands out for me for one reason, because Rach got to go. It's the only one she's ever been to. And I don't know how excited she would be about going back again. She enjoyed it, but yeah, doesn't have the kind of, oh my god, it's this is Beetle Lacerda's latest prototype about her. But yeah, Rach came, and our friend Dan wanted to come as well, and we drove down. Well, I say we. Dan drove down. And adventure on a great big road trip to Essen, stayed around there, got to see loads more stuff. Now it's starting to transition to, oh, you're doing this for the channel now. Oh, you've got appointments and people to see, places to be, games to get back. I think, yeah, that was the one as well where I think, oh, it'll be a later video actually. This is me seeing Kitchen Rush. I don't know if that was a prototype. And what else is there? Seeing Welcome 2 for the first time. I'm being really excited about it. There's Rado again. Hey. There's Jen. And then this is all of the pictures. Again, sorry I don't have more pictures of us there, of us driving there, of the various countries that we went through and stuff, and the fun times that we had getting there and back. I just don't think to take pictures. I'm sorry. I've tried to work on it and it doesn't work. But this is, so I've got about 6 pictures from that Essen. This is like the haul or whatever. It's kind of the beginning of, oh wow, you can get given stuff now, but maybe you shouldn't take all of this stuff because it's kind of the start of being overwhelmed by things. But hey, I think most things there got a video. Yes, the scary haul pictures, which, yeah, I still stand by. I think we played pretty much everything there. I think, looking through it now, and almost everything in it got a playthrough. I don't think Meeple Circus ever did. But, yeah, that was another one as well. That all fit into the boot of a car. And I don't think it was I don't know what car it was. But, yeah, it was... I should have that picture somewhere as well, of it all being kind of crammed into a boot. But the start of learning, you should maybe not bring as many things back. I didn't learn this lesson for a couple more Essens, I think. But yeah, that's all of the stuff I brought back. And I'll spoil it now. There are no further Essens on there. But from this point onwards, I had to use that booth to send... I don't know why I made that face. I love that booth. I wouldn't be able to get games back without that booth. There's a shipping booth there where you buy a great big box, they send your stuff back. And yeah, like... I don't think I learned my lesson in 2019, really. I tried. I went in with that attitude of getting... I think I had fewer boxes coming back. And now I would definitely stick to it, of just have a much better picture of how long it takes to make things. Maybe we'll see this more as we go along. But yeah, that's as amazing as it is, and as hungry as I am to see all of these games, you can't get to them all. You can't make a video for them all. The videos take too long to make. So you just gotta pick and choose between things. Yeah, Riverboat did go under the radar. And that was the year where it was Reworld was Kramer and Kiesling, and there was it Heaven and Ale and Riverboat are just Michael Kiesling, right? I think I'm right in that. I don't think Reworld ever got a playthrough as well. It's a shame. It was great. Got overshadowed. Oh yeah, wasn't Azul was Michael Kiesling as well, wasn't it? Yeah, just so much stuff that year. All in one great big go. But yeah, Azul probably did overshadow all of those things. Sequel to Isle of Cats, The Box in the Boot, yes. Yeah, just a huge year. There's still like, what's the Renature came out last year, I think, from Kramer and Kiesling. Still doing fantastic games, but that was kind of one where it all bubbled up into one great big year. So yeah, that's the Essen where it starts to turn into, oh wow, this is some kind of big thing. Next, another one that is dear to my heart for different reasons. This is Kitchen Rush, which is a game that I will evangelize about for ages and ages and ages. I always wonder, when I'm trying to think of David Tortzi's hits to reel off in a big heavy, his latest heavy Euro game, that's you can reel off things like Anachrony and Tekkenu and all of these heavier games. But the one that's at the forefront of my mind always is Kitchen Rush. I love it. It's like a real-time dexterity game. But one of the reasons that this just kept in my mind and ended up on the list is that Rach is in this playthrough, and she isn't in that many playthroughs across the channel. There is a poorly maintained playlist on the channel that I don't think has got all of her appearances on it. But I love it when Rach is in the videos, because yeah, that's the most accurate portrayal of us playing games. When he's not on camera, Glass Marty does not play with me at all. You'd be surprised to learn. So yeah, it's a madcap, real time. Things are going everywhere. Sun timers are getting knocked everywhere. Kind of game and video. And there's the sequel that's just a prototype. Rush MD Rach is in as well, because she kind of has to be. You can do it solo, but I don't know if you can do it solo with a camera in one of your hands. Oh yeah, I'll show you the camera that's always that made all of these videos pretty much since the start. I think like the first few videos were on my phone, and then I thought, I really like this, I'll get a camera. That camera's still here. It's looking at me right now. There are fancier cameras pointing down there now. Have I always done two-handed solos even before the channel? Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I started doing that. That's how I would learn games. And I think maybe, well, for sure, sometimes when we get like a bad rulebook or something that just isn't clicking, Rach wishes that it was like that again, that I would get games when we didn't have kind of such an amount of games to get through, of course, and more time to do stuff. You know, as time goes on, as lockdowns and things happen, teaching gets harder and harder. Time gets more and more precious, as it does for everyone for various reasons. But yeah, what used to happen is I would get a game, I would read the rules and stuff. There would usually, because I wasn't getting sent anything early, there would usually be a Rado video or a John Gets Games video or a Gaming Rules video, right? And I could watch and learn how to play, and in an ideal circumstance, I would be playing there, and I would just play with Rach as well. Like, I would just do a two-handed game against myself, which I have always done with things when I was little as well. People didn't usually like board games as much as me, even when it was Payday and things like that. But yeah, so that's what I would do to kind of learn a game. And then when loads of the first videos are all solo, because it seemed like not as many people were making solo videos at the time. And then I did. This should have been a moment as well. I could only do 10. You can go back to Rococo. I think it's like the 10th video or something like that. Rococo Jewelry Box, which didn't have a solo mode. It only got a solo mode in its fancy new version, which is just off camera here. But yeah, that was the first game that I did that couldn't be played solo, and so I had to get an opponent. And I knew that, you know, the kind of formats of shaky cam was already enough Rados. Even though in real life I would, you know, do a two-handed game against Rach, but well, I can't just be saying, oh, and Rach will do this, Rach will do that. That'll look like even more of a copy. So I had, where is he? I don't think I've got him to hand right now, because there is still a lot of stuff everywhere from the Cloud Spy playthrough. Here he is. From Plug as well. Make sure this is in the right place. If you wonder where Little Glass Marty comes from, I bought this for Rach for Christmas one year. It might have been the year before the channel started. Just because that's Jennifer Ham is Rado's wife. She makes lovely glass things, and one of the things that she did was make a glass image of glass totem of your cat. And yeah, that's Marty. And so I just, in a panic, needed an opponent, and Little Glass Marty was born. It ended up being the most popular part of the channel. So yes, a long answer to a simple question. That's what I'm here for. So next, what is next? Next is, and this isn't a plug because I've already plugged it. I realise that these things now have kind of leapt forward in time a couple of years to, I think this is 2018. Maybe not too much time. This is 2019, where I think this is kind of this is the current chapter, kind of, when the Patreon launched. That was another kind of scary thing, because I'd done Kickstarters that still terrified me. I think I did 3 Kickstarters, and they all ended up funding. I think the last one was a bit touch and go, but it all funded, and it all kept going and growing bit by bit. And then Patreon, I think, has ended up being a kind of weight off my mind in a way, that there isn't this kind of great big thing looming every year, and the panic of, what do I set this thing at? Will it fund? Will this even carry on? There is still that, you know, because it's like a monthly thing, and so everyone could just decide this is terrible and just all pull out. You can just decide month by month whether you want to carry on. Luckily, people are carrying on, and it's been kept going through this for the last 18 months or so now. And I've been leaning more and more towards, has someone done this recently? I've seen other non-board game things do this. You sign up and you get rewards. There are different tiers and stuff. I've wondered whether it would work if you just had a tier for stuff, because I don't like. I would maybe do some extra streams and stuff for patrons, but I don't like the idea of doing like an extra series or extra videos. People do that, and that's fine. I'm not putting anything against channels that do that, but I would like, especially when I know that there are like kids in Rachel's class that watch my videos. It'd be a shame if they couldn't come into the Q&As. Yeah, if you don't want to see Paul Grogan eating a full pack of Jaffa cakes, one mouthful. But yeah, maybe there'll be fewer tiers in it, because you can always put what you want into Patreon anyway, and yeah, it'll just be more people involved in all of the votes and stuff, and yeah, just everyone gets the same. If you could do more, you can, and that's fantastic. But yeah, this is what has kind of pushed it on further as well, that you can kind of see, I would sometimes, I think for the last Kickstarter actually, you'd get the money in and then be like, oh, there's this new camera that I want, that, hey, this is the other camera, this is the handheld camera, this is the beauty. It's actually, should have paid less for it, but yeah, you'd get this money and then go, okay, Kickstarter fees off it, this, that, okay, this camera, oh, that's actually a great big chunk of the money, blah, 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 blah. And then that's it for a year, which is fantastic that it all happened. But now you can kind of gate it a little bit more, that it happens monthly. And yeah, I think it does pretty much all go on equipment and stuff. Just looking around at all of the various things that's currently making live streaming and stuff happening. It's making this happen right now. But yeah, top tier is slickerdrips plushie. A plushie of me, not of Marty. Yeah, Marty plushie, I think, would be the one people want. I really like, you're not going to be able to see me point to it, I really like in the corner there. I should have put as well as a moment. Oh, we should have done like top 20 or something. Why can't I figure out where to point? Over in the corner, you see anniversary Marty. Rach. Yeah, I can point it more easily this way. Rach has drawn all of the Martys based on, the actual glass model of Marty, and she's always kind of nervous about doing it, but I think they're all fantastic. He's gone through standard Marty. He was Cowboy Marty for a year. He's been Space Marty for quite a while now, because I do really like Space Marty, and kind of all of the visuals and the music and stuff fits in with that. But for this week at least, he is anniversary Marty. I've been wondering whether to do a badge or something about that, but I don't know if I will, because I have been terrible about the last chunk of badges. Bye, Mikhail. Thank you for watching. Game night. Oh, it'll be great when game nights come back. So what was that? That was 8. Patreon. We're jumping forward again to, what number is this? Make sure I press the right button. To number 9, Frosthaven, which, yeah, you like Gloomhaven and all of this stuff. It's always lovely to be, included in these various Kickstarters. And I know that in the past year or so, I've charged for Kickstarter videos, so it's a job that I've done that supports all of this stuff as well. So there is that element to it, but it's still really exciting to be involved in games that you really enjoy for a start. But I've said many, many times, you can search back through loads and loads of top 10s and the videos for the games themselves. I love Gloomhaven. It's my favourite game. So being involved in doing a playthrough for the Frosthaven Kickstarter and everything, great, exciting. It's a sequel to Gloomhaven, if you didn't know. But the kind of memory, the moment on this, that actually is more recent than that, is doing a scenario for it. I know that there are plenty of guest designers in Frosthaven, But I asked Rach to do it with me as well, because and Rach pretty much came up with the core idea of the scenario as well, which you will see at some point. It's and it was really really fun making all of that. It's amazing to be involved in that. I've never tried to design anything, and I've only done a scenario at this point. It's not like I designed a game, but yeah, it was really it was amazing to be asked to be included in it, and that we will have a thing in a game that hopefully we're gonna love. I'm sure we will. I love the prototype for it, but yeah, that's something of ours is gonna be in a game, and it's at some point as well. I didn't know if it was just, well, all of this is self-indulgence, isn't it? I haven't got a picture of it, but Seize the Bean as well. I love Seize the Bean. I loved it in its first Kickstarter form. I wasn't even getting paid back then, but yeah, it's had its delays and whatever. I've been a staunch defender of, yeah, they've made mistakes. I've been pretty open about having made mistakes that have caused great big delays, but Kickstarter is all about giving people a chance to make something. And I think they've always been very honest about it, but it's coming. You can see the streams on Quality Beast that it's on the way. And the other thing about that is that, yeah, I'm a card in that. Loads of games get their various promos and stuff. For me, it's Seize the Bean. I'm bespectacled. My nose is even bigger in that illustration. But hey, I'm in a game that I think is really exciting. Did Paul pose for Formal Marty? What do you mean, Steve? Oh, for his top hat. Rach was googling a lot of pictures of like illustrations of cats in suits and top hats. I don't think they were real cats in there. They weren't like Vic and Bob's cats in bomber jackets. But yeah, there were plenty of cool pictures she was drawing on from there. I'm sure she would have had Paul in his top hat opening one of the tabs. Yeah, Paul with his top hat. Hi, Bess. Thank you for dropping in. The fun part of game design with none of the logistical hassle. Exactly. And not even like the playtesting stuff. I mean, Isaac has come back with like feedback from playtesters and what do you think about doing this to it? What do you think about making it more fun by taking out this this really unfun part? But yeah, we just get to be the crazy guy. Wouldn't it be great if you could do this? Could you put this in Gloomhaven? And not have to deal with the actual how do you make that work in Gloomhaven. Yes, Michael, I agree. All the Martys are fantastic, and I can say that for absolute certainty because I didn't really have anything to do with any of them. It's all Rach, apart from kind of the... Again, it's me coming out with all of these ideas of, can you make him a cowboy? And then Rach has to work out, what do you mean? How do I make him a cowboy? Okay, he's an astronaut this year. Okay, this time, can you put him in like a tuxedo? Well, how do I draw a tuxedo? And yeah, I think Rach can draw beautifully. She doesn't think so, but hey, look at the evidence. It's right here. Let's take Frosthaven off for a bit. I've talked about all of that business. Look at how lovely it is. I think it might be a little bit pixely because it's shrunk down, but yeah, I think it's beautiful and something should be done with it. I don't know if it should be like the main Marty, because as I said, the Space Marty is kind of there's a load of stuff based on there. I suppose it would have to be like regal. You would have to have like drawing curtains and stuff. Like for the, if you see my post this week about the schedule, I found this like purple stage curtain thing for him to stand in front of, to have all of the games on rather than just the spacey background. I really really like it. I think it's just like a daft idea to come up with, and then Rach ends up drawing it and making it real and coming up with all these little details like the monocle and stuff that make it pop. Yes, where am I? Yes, Marty's are fantastic. Fancy Marty is my favourite so far. Yes, it is absolutely always important to be kind. Just in YouTube in general as well. I feel like over these 5 years, there's definitely been, you know, nasty comments and that kind of stuff. I feel like in general, partly due to privileges and stuff, but just in general, I feel like I've gotten off pretty light in that. I've had a fair old bit, but when you spread that out over 5 years, yeah, it's not ever gotten that much. But I think the overwhelming majority, and something that is great about everyone that especially watches live and stuff, everyone is kind and lovely. Yeah. and pretty supportive in the stuff. Like loads of, like, if you look back at 5 years of just, yeah, comments on YouTube and stuff, dealing with all of these various companies and other people that make this thing. Like, another thing that I know that I'm delaying the last point, but kind of, I mentioned this for the first thing, that I'm a pretty quiet, like, introverted, I've said quiet, kind of person. That's especially, like, if you've come up to me at Essen or something like that, I'm kind of fine around that kind of thing. But just in general, there might be times when you've spotted me from along the way where I've just kind of got my head down in silence. That's how it kind of is. I tend to, like, lurk on social media and stuff, which I aren't really on anymore that much either. I know that I post stuff on there, but I don't see that much. I will definitely interact if you talk to me on there, but yeah, I've trying to cut down on my time of just doom scrolling and stuff. But yeah, just in general, on forums, on social medias and everything, I don't really kind of volunteer my voice that much. So that's why it kind of was a surprising, unusual thing to have ever done this and kept at it. And I don't really feel that I don't feel that quietness. Obviously, I turn into a bit of a right motor mouth when I'm making this stuff. But yeah, that's another thing that it's kind of helped me with as well. That I don't think, not because of RC comments, but just because of the practice of doing this and kind of being thrust out in these things, that at a certain point, I feel like I need to go to Essen to do all of this stuff. So you need to go back to the place with the great big crowds and talk to all of the people and stuff. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with all of that. Oh yes, kind people. Yeah, I think that in general, I can only think vaguely, and I will be vague, about a couple of kind of run-ins that were less than happy. But in general, everyone has always been really supportive. You know, so many companies have been along since the beginning. You know, Isle of Cats, that's coming at the end of the week. That's Frank West, who runs City of Games and designed Isle of Cats. He was lovely, reaching out really early on with, I want to send you this thing. When I can't remember like the complete process of stuff, but I felt like, wow, why is he sending me a game? And so many people, like Paul, we met at Essen, but we'd been talking for at least a few months before then, I imagine. I don't know, I'd only been making videos like 6 months or so, but we had been in touch and stuff, and Paul's always been very supportive right from the beginning as well. He put me on his podcast and stuff, got me on stage doing live shows. Did we do 2 of those? Did we do 3 of those? At the UK Games Expo, that was a terrifying prospect in itself. But yeah, loads and loads of people have really helped me out. And yeah, that's an important thing to put into this video somewhere, I think. Because, yeah, it's an important part of it all. Hi, JJ. Thank you. I'm really glad that you enjoy the videos, and I'm really glad that you watch them, that you're around in general. Thank you, everyone, for being here, just in the world. And thanks, Bess. I think it is a terrifying length of time to have been doing something. But yes, when you look back at it all, it is like when I update that playthrough, there's a list of all the playthroughs on Board Game Geek. When you look back at that list and you see that, what are we on now, 463 or something like that? Tomorrow's video will be like playthrough 464. I know that other things get mixed in there, overviews get put on that list and stuff, but in general, there's at least like 400 playthroughs on this channel. And when you see that there's like, what, 13,000 people subscribing, there's like 3 point something million views, which they all are kind of so astronomical that it is kind of, I don't know, it's not desensitizing because it still seems amazing, but you can't really like quantify all of that stuff in your mind. So number 10, let's do another number, right? Is this going to play okay? Number 10 is I have to make sure that no sound is playing from any of these videos. Number 10 is GridCon. Not just the convention. The convention too, but my video. This is channel memories. Also, although going to GridCon was part of the channel, I was there as in a press capacity. But yeah, you might be able to see from some of this GridCon stuff. I know that I'm supposed to be making board game playthroughs and stuff, and generally just show people how to play games. I think this is the best thing that I've made so far. I don't know. It's kind of specific as well that you've got to kind of be interested in seeing me go to a convention in Devon, which I know that the majority of people that watch this channel, there's only I think only 10% of views come from the UK, which always surprises me. But yeah, I can understand. Maybe a lot of Americans, they're never going to go to Tiverton to a board game convention, and maybe wouldn't just click on it ordinarily. But this is no ordinary board game convention video. And I would say that yes, Paul asked me gave me a ticket to GridCon to cover his convention, and a lot of that video is not talking about the convention. We do talk about a lot of games. We do show off all of the convention. I think it will be a much shorter video. Like I watched. That's the most self-indulgent part, isn't it? Watching back your own video and laughing at it. And I watched it earlier today as well, and was laughing at it. I can't even hear it now. But yeah, I think it's a mighty fine video. It's like there's a lot of I've pointed out some of the other daft things that I've made, but GridCon is really up there. Like, there's a lot of just kind of stuff that's specific of little jokes to me, but I think in general it's a daft laugh, and hopefully whether you are into GridCon or not, and you should be. Whether you're going to go there or not, surely you want to see. Look at it. Here you go. This is the main convention coverage bit. But yeah, I strongly recommend you watch this, as well as the beginning of Supermarket Sweep. Oh, and I didn't mention Kitchen Rush. I think I skipped past the bit in Kitchen Rush. At the end of the Kitchen Rush playthrough, there is another one of these daft like re-edits. I noticed there was a nice rhythm to a lot of the dishes that we were saying the name of, and so I got another of Kevin MacLeod. He should be a channel memory. Kind of, he's omnipresent on YouTube. So many people use his music, and he's made some fantastic stuff, which I use in every video. But yeah, I made a weird little. I don't think it was a rap. It was like I called it Kitchen Rush Party. It's at the end of that playthrough. I think that's another good daft laugh as well. But the GridCon video, it does go a bit normal sometimes, and we just talk about games that we were playing, and it's sped up just for this. But I think it is mighty fine. Oh dear, I need to scroll back up. Thanks, Paul. I'm glad that the consensus from I think it's still like. It's 3-figure views, which is still a lot of people watching a pretty specific video, but the feedback was lovely from it, which was nice because at a certain point, this is like people talk about flow in creativity, right? Which you do get into just generally, get really into the game. It's not just for creative things. It's a state that you will most likely been in of playing games. Sorry if you already know about this, but it's something that I was listening to a podcast about as well recently. So I'm just parroting all of this stuff where time just seems to pass. You don't notice how long something has been. You come out of loads of fantastic long Eurogames like that. Really, that was like 2-3 hours. It felt like nothing. And sometimes it's very much the opposite of that. But yeah, I felt like when I was making that Supermarket Sweep video, especially when I was making this GridCon video, it took so long to put together in the end, but it was all kind of it was another thing of I filmed all of this stuff and I'm going to make it into a normal convention video, and just more and more and more it got turned into whatever it is. You can see it over on there, and hopefully it encouraged you. It does advertise a GridCon 2 that obviously hasn't happened yet. The dates for that aren't true anymore. because the world fell apart. You remember, you were there. But yeah, you can check out the website that is linked still there for up to the minute GridCon news. Oh, thanks, JJ. I'm glad that I could help you learn all of those games. So another part of making all of these videos and doing things early, like say underwater cities, that was nearly a thing on here as well. I've loved Vladimir Suchi's games, and the idea that he's making his own company. Here's a great big bit about Friends Trivial Pursuits, where I ask you some trivia questions. Yeah, it's so exciting to do that game early as well. I just love this game, and you get to be one of the first to try it and stuff, but it also means that you've got to work all of it out and make it presentable. So I'm glad that at least for you anyway, I do a good job at synthesizing some of this stuff. Yes, that is important as well, Bess. That's what is it? It's like the 1% or something, that not the financial 1%, but like out of people that watch it, like 1% will leave a comment and stuff, and 1% of those people will do something else. I forget it. I don't know why I brought it up now, since I clearly don't know any of it. But yeah, most people, myself included as well, I have to remember, as well as trying to remember, take a photo of this thing so you can put it on social media, so you can show people, who knows when a video or something is going to get made. Show the people what you were doing, and as well, when you've watched a video, I am bad for it still. As much as I have said like and comments and stuff, I am still trying to hammer it home to do it myself. That generally it is. I enjoyed that thing. I will now move on to another thing. It's I am much better at it than I was. But yeah, leave a little like and a comment and stuff. But I understand, as I mentioned, with all of my lurkage, that in general I don't leave comments on much really, and sometimes the few times I haven't gone well. But yeah, in general, you should just leave a nice comment. But there is nothing wrong with not doing that. I completely understand that angle of it. Next GridCon should move to Sedgemoor services. There we go. That's GridCon 2 back in the habit. That's not the dates that it happened though. It's going to start again in a minute. I've been going on about this so long. It is kind of it's a video about GridCon. You can't deny that. But there is a lot in it that is not GridCon as well. Yeah, Sedgemoor service station really. And I haven't watched this video for I don't know how long before today. So I'd forgotten a load of stuff that was in it, and it is daft as can be. My nan would probably have said too daft to laugh at, but yeah, that's what means. That's what I like really. I've been on the news in the 80s. The reporter pretended to play Talisman with us. Why? Oh, it's a convention. That's why you would have been playing Talisman. But a reporter was just reporting on the convention in general, pretending to be involved in it all. Yes, GridCon 2 is at the end of November this year, so almost. It was in November, right? Was it? Almost the second anniversary, right? Of the great big of really the event of the season, the GridCon documentary film presentation. Hi Moran, congrats on the anniversary. Big hi from Serbia. Thank you very much for watching. I hope there's many more as well. And ad break. I won't even do an ad break. I've mentioned it loads, haven't I? If you would like to help things keep coming, but I know loads of you here support me on Patreon, and thank you very much for that. And some people aren't able to as well. I never want to seem pushy about all of that. I never know how quite to phrase it. That's why I'm bad at advertising all of this stuff. I don't want to seem too pushy. I know that especially in the middle of a pandemic, hopefully nearer the end of a pandemic, that people are less than ever in a position to contribute to these things. But yeah, it's always with the caveat, if you can, and you want to, of course. And if not, everything else is free still. There's adverts, but yes, I'm fine with those. And now we get to see it starting again. Yeah, it does seem a lot of the time, Bez. I know how you feel. Right, it just feels like a lot of effort to type something out, and not in like just kind of a lazy way. It just seems like maybe it's a particular kind of person. I don't know if it's the same for you, Bez, that's like, I have typed out, it's kind of why I've gradually just drawn back and not bothered, that so much time must have been put into typing things out and then rewording them, overthinking stuff that should probably have just been posted, and then ultimately just not posting it. So it was just all for nothing. Driving on the wrong side of the road? I know, right? How do we manage? That's why we were kicked out of the EU. Okay, starting again. Don't get too distracted watching that. Let's turn that off. I'm just gonna start laughing again at my own stuff and look like a right big head. Yes, that is, Bez, that is a good point. The back and forth of live streaming, I don't think this is going to work now. And tell me if this makes the audio go terrible. Number 11. There is an 11 in this top 10 because this was number 10 and I thought of another thing that had to be in it. It hasn't worked. Number 11. Here you go. Wait for the reveal of this. It made the audio go all funny earlier. Does it work now? Number 11 is this. It's live stuff. I've put a normal live video on. Okay, maybe not worth the build-up. I like the effect, though. Is the audio still okay? When I tested that, it made the audio go terrible. And I decided I shouldn't do it. But I really liked it. But GridCon 1 was the end of November 2019. Yes, so it will be the second anniversary. I thought you meant in the GridCon video then, Paul, that you were in suspenders. I don't remember all of that. But yeah, Paul is in a top hat in that. If there's no other reason, if I haven't convinced you already, Paul is in a top hat in that GridCon video. But number 11, kind of the new Patreon is the current chapter of everything. It is still been going on like that. It's mostly funded through all of that. Adverts are on now. Kickstarter videos are paid for now, and that's what keeps it all going. Like at the moment, today has been getting all of this ready and practicing Cloudspire, realizing I didn't have enough time to do Cloudspire because I'd spent too much time messing around with that video effect. And yeah, so basically there are days now where I can do this. I still so the kind of extra new chapter that is still encompassed by the Patreon one is doing live stuff. I know that loads of people, Heavy Cardboard, Paul especially, have been doing live stuff for ages now. Loads of people caught the bug, got into the spirit of it when the pandemic hit, when lockdown struck, and we had to do all this stuff. I tried to get all this stuff working. I, in fact, tried to get it all working with the exact equipment that I've got now that it works with. But I couldn't get it to work. It might have been... I've had a new computer since then, so maybe that is what fixed it. But either way, I tried to do all of that when I probably should have done it. Tried a load of different ways, got frustrated, stopped trying to do that, and just got on with the normal videos. And yeah, so I have now that it all kind of works, and Paul and I did it wasn't that long ago, was it? We did a Codenames duet just over the internet, so it didn't need any cameras or anything like that. But back to what Bez said about live stream back and forth is very energizing. Yes, it is absolutely fantastic. I know that. So I've said this in the coming up videos and stuff, that if you're worried, I know some people have voiced their concerns about the normal playthroughs. They love the handheld camera. I do too. And the edited part of it, there's definitely there's ups and downs between the two things. The normal playthroughs are still coming. There is Maracaibo will be coming on Friday, and Taverns of Tiefenthal next week, thanks to the monthly Patreon vote. You choose what the main playthroughs are of the month. But yeah, they're still coming. But I have kind of been for a while now. Like I want to be celebratory and stuff, but be honest about making things. That there have been times where I have been spending way too much time at night and in the weekends, and I'll still do that now. I'll still need to do that to catch up at times. But in trying to keep a kind of impossible pace that hasn't really been set by anybody, I think it says somewhere on the Patreon that that there'll be a video a week, which definitely has always happened. I think even when like there was kind of a series of not necessarily calamities, like I broke my shoulder last year, and then not long after all of that was sorted, we'd gotten on the train to moving house and stuff, and so there was kind of a big chunk of last year that had fewer videos than normal. But yeah, I'm always kind of racing for this thing that is never going to happen. I don't think there's going to be any point where you just that's yes, I'm satisfied. I have made enough things this week, and that kind of pushing yourself too far towards all of that is what has turned. Like I've never kind of completely burnt out with stuff, but there have definitely been times where just playing all of these new games and trying to get everything filmed and knowing that that there is there are people waiting for these videos, not just people watching, that people have given you a game, you need to film the game, and you have said yes to too many things. All of that at times has kind of piled up and stuff. But what all of this comes down to essentially is that I have found a few things through live videos that absolutely the back and forth of talking to people that are watching, no matter depending on the game and the time of day and whatever, there's going to be different amounts of people watching. But there are people to chat to after doing this for almost 5 years, because this has only happened in like the last month or so. For doing this for pretty much 5 years, apart from some anomalies, sometimes Rach was there, sometimes like Paul and I have done dual playthroughs before. We did a Hallertau towards the end of last year, I think. I know we did a Hallertau, I'm not quite sure what time. So that stuff's happened before. It's not entirely been on my own, but generally filming the playthroughs, just it's me in silence and stuff, and that's fine a lot of the time. But I've found that I love the fact that there are people watching and you can get feedback, not just for making goofs and stuff. That's great too, but that's you're getting this interaction with the people that are watching. That is always something that, as well as like stuff not working out, and I know I'm repeating myself from another video about this, but as well as stuff not working out, I'd thought as well that like I can't be tied down to a schedule of you need to be ready at this time of the day, and sometimes that is tough to make work. But and that will I be able to just keep this going for a live thing? What if I have kind of, with the fact that all the videos get edited, I used to make them, those very first ones, that's Castles of Burgundy, all of those videos were filmed in real time. And so there's some silence, I'm sure, while I'm thinking of things, but I'm desperately trying to keep it all going. And I think over the years of me being edited and stuff, and trying to think harder about what is going on and keep it all interesting and show all of the things off, all of that is kind of spinning around at once. But kind of knowing that it will all get edited down anyway has kind of made me take longer and leave these bigger gaps that do all get chopped out before they end up as full videos. But I like to think that in the live ones anyway, they do take longer. It's live, and you've still got to make decisions, and there's going to be times when you chat to the chat and stuff. But I hope in general that I'm kind of keeping the pace going for some of these things as I get more experienced in it anyway. So yeah, live videos are going to be coming alongside the normal playthroughs. Like, I know that in the last few weeks I have done a lot of stuff, and it's kind of I think it's come up in the chat and stuff that as if I've got like a kind of renewed effort and stuff, which kind of this has been like a driving force to doing a load of things. But while the kind of output has massively increased, I did have it written down somewhere how much stuff there'd been. Like my time making it, like the editing takes me forever, And as I mentioned earlier on, I don't particularly enjoy it. Like sometimes it's fine, and especially if I'm making something silly, then I don't mind it at all there. But in general, in a playthrough, it takes a long time. It's worth it in the end. It makes them fast, it makes them smoother and stuff, but it takes ages. Whereas in live, I don't have to edit anything at all. There are people there to interact with, and just in general, you get to go back to other games. You get to just cover more stuff. Like the number of playthroughs there have been this month. I know some I have played through before, but there have been loads of things. Like Mage Knight's a repeat this week, isn't it? That's happened before. It's happened a couple of times before now. But there'll be Quack's expansion I've never done. There will be Isle of Cats, which I did a prototype for, but I've never really done. And then next week there will be some new things. I'm hoping for Venice next week and Return to Cloudspire and stuff. I don't know that if this pace will keep up of live stuff and normal stuff as well. I'm going to try to, but like I think I've gotten better over the years, but especially in the last couple of months, about kind of realizing how long stuff takes and what I am happy with doing. That there is no need to, and I've had this realization several times. It's not like I've kind of learned it and then moved on. I've learned it and then got back into a cycle of doing things. But yeah, I would like to think that at the moment I kind of recognize more of a balance of doing stuff. That sometimes, like the Cloudspire today, you need to just be playing games as well. That's like sometimes you're just thrown into something kind of unprepared, which is great if that's what the video is meant to be. But sometimes it's nice to just relax and just play a game. Which, yeah, Rach and I have been playing Madara. Not actually for the last couple of weekends, but we got back into Madara as well, which we haven't played for a couple of years, which we absolutely loved. It was my favourite game of 2019. A couple of years later when I finally do a top 10 for it. But yeah, it's nice to have a bit more of a balance of, you know, like Rach has got into the habit of saying, like, you know, what do we need to play this weekend? And it's nice to more and more just play, well, we don't need to play anything. Like, we can play this thing, but like there isn't a pressing need to particularly play something by this this deadline, apart from when something come at the last minute. But it's exciting sometimes. Yes, live streaming definitely takes the editing load off, because now I've kind of, at the moment anyway, so I, supported by Patreon and the ads and stuff, I have 2-3 days a week where I can just make stuff, which is amazing. Never thought I'd get to that point, or any of these points really. I could have said that the entire time through this video. But yeah, so there is a chunk of time that is entirely paid for me to do this as a job. I would love for it to, you know, keep on expanding and to be my actual job, which, you know, things move ever forward, don't they, towards that, hopefully. And it would still be great to do that ultimately. But for now, I've kind of decided that rather than desperately trying to do 2 or more normal playthroughs a week, I will just aim for, aside from, like, Kickstarters are a completely separate thing. They happen when they go live. Like, that's just, they aren't part of that limit. And they are paid for by the publishers, and so they don't count towards a schedule of Patreon things in my mind, because the videos I make normally are made by thanks to the support of the patrons. It's a long-winded way of saying that. So yeah, I want one normal playthrough to come through a week, and then the top 10 Uwe Rosenberg games that just went live this weekend. And I know top 10s are hugely popular videos anyway. The Uwe Rosenberg one, wow, got loads of views and loads of feedback from that. It was lovely. But yes, there will hopefully be, I'm thinking, one normal thing a week, and by normal I mean, you know, the handheld static camera edited playthroughs, the classic. And then there will be the live things, depending on when I'm around, what I can do, what I feel like that week. And I'm kind of saying that as a kind of caveat for the future, because right now, in the last few weeks, I've been doing things pretty much well, not every day. Like Monday is the big main work day. I say main work day, but this is kind of more main now. My normal job day. So there's never usually anything unless it's a pre-recorded video on a Monday. And so yeah, every other day has usually got a stream on it. Like Thursday's nighttime this week. I think was it Meadow? I tried having it at like 3 o'clock or something, and I nearly missed it because there was traffic trying to rush home. So yeah, things are gonna get later and stuff. But yeah, maybe it'll end up that I can do this for more days. But being able to just kind of play things and practice things and enjoy things on top of still enjoying making them for videos and stuff, I think is a really important part. But a lot of the time when I'm doing like the live playthroughs as well, it feels more just like I am playing a game. I'm still trying to explain it all. I'm still kind of got the mind frame of doing it like a playthrough. But there is something about just the fact that it is just there as well. Like I love that the videos go up early for patrons. Another benefit, and that they go through the checking. You know, Steve adds those Klingon subtitles and makes the senseless make sense. They go through all of that process, but there is something as well that is gratifying about you are live, you did this video, and now it's available for anyone to watch. It's just done. There is, you know, and as I mentioned, a few people have said that, you know, the live playthroughs are too long, and they like the handheld angle and stuff like that. That I don't feel like I can do handheld live. There are times you wouldn't believe some of the the wild camera sweeps that have to get edited around. That even if you don't really mind the shaky cam, there are some camera movements that are just abhorrent. That I think if they ended up in the live thing, it would just be horrible. But yeah, I for the moment anyway, I've been doing them a lot. I don't feel like, you know, Rach has made a few mentions that like you're doing a lot of this. Are you sure you want to do this much? And for now, yeah, it's all been driven by just I'm really excited to do all of this stuff. I imagine that will temper at a certain point. There will be some kind of equilibrium between the two pretty soon, I would imagine. But for now, I'm well excited about live things. I've missed out on chats and stuff. Do you know where you enjoy being in chats? I enjoy you being in chats as well. It's nice as well. Seeing it depends, again, as I mentioned, it depends the time of day you're doing stuff, doesn't it? And where people are around the world and all of that business. But yeah, it's lovely to see some regular people popping up in them as well. As well as, I appreciate all you people that watch later as well. I recognise your names. We're talking about live things right now. Board Game Trucker, is daft the word of the day? I say daft quite a lot. So it takes the editing load off a bit. Does viewership change with live or recorded videos? Well, at the start of doing the live videos, and it's just like doing a normal video, it depends. Sometimes it depends when you do it. Like all of that stuff about the day that you make a video live and the time. I used to like read articles about that and think that really mattered, and now it even says on YouTube's analytics, don't worry too much. It might affect when people start to watch, but in the long term, of course, it doesn't matter when the video went live. So it matters like the game that you're playing, how many people care about that game. There will of course be some people that just see a new upload from me and will watch it, but generally people will want to find information about a particular game because they care about that kind of game. I do, you know, I definitely have like a type of game, don't I? Of, you know, medium Euros, maybe a bit dry sometimes, but I do maybe not that much, but I do kind of divert from it a bit, like that X-Men Elder Sign game that I did the other week. So yeah, it depends how many people care about that particular game. It matters a bit as well if you're early on a game. I'm not as fussed about that anymore. I think it was too much of a worry about trying to get these games. They come when they come. I've got, you know, so many games to do in the meantime that I am definitely not as panicked about chasing stuff as I used to be. So yeah, does the viewership change with live stuff. When I'd done the first few, and I think it's because the first live streams when I was doing them out, it was like my first ever Mage Knight video and stuff like that. So, very popular game. I'd never done a video before, and it had been requested a lot over the years. So, the first live streams that I did, a new kind of analytic came up on YouTube that was like, in the first 7 days, people watch your live videos this much, and your pre-recorded videos this much. And that is skewed, right? Because when I do a playthrough of a decently long game, it's split into 2 parts, and so that's 2 videos. There are static camera versions of those 2 videos as well. So there's handheld, static, and there's a first impression video. So for every playthrough that I do, unless it's a short one, there are 5 videos going up. And not as many people will watch part 2 as part 1, and nowhere near as many people will watch the static camera version. Generally, people will watch the handheld things, and the static camera version mainly is there for people that prefer that, sure, but some people just can't watch the shaky cam. So yeah, that skews all of the statistics. You can't use all of the information that YouTube tells you that much, because if like a video gets 1,000 views and then the static camera gets 80 views, it will treat all of those as just videos you uploaded, rather than, can I exclude these ones out of the analytics because they're special videos. So yeah, it was saying live is getting loads and pre-recorded not so much. But then Anno 1800 went up, and that was, to me anyway, I think I just had the wrong expectations. That was surprisingly well viewed, and as I mentioned, the Uwe Rosenberg one got tons and tons as well. So I think it's kind of going to balance out in the end. Not that many people watch live. I think the most is probably 40 or 50 concurrent. Though, when you finish a stream, it's a few hundred, but like that are watching at the same time. That's not a huge amount, but then the video is up there for anyone to watch. So over those first 7 days, a load of people end up watching them. But I would say, yeah, like Paul says, consistency doesn't seem to be making a difference. But I think, I would hope, it's not like a drive for doing it, but I would hope that as a kind of byproduct of it, the more kind of videos that you do, the more games that you cover in the end, the more chance people have of seeing you live. You know, the more people will see you and think, oh yeah, I like this, and want to watch. And plenty of people will think, I don't like this. Fair enough. But yeah, that's a kind of thought behind it as well. But you can never really. I've one thing that I would say is that I've been terrible at predicting what would be a really particularly popular video, and I'm surprised they're the ones that I mentioned. Scythe that always ends up in the top 10. It's just because I haven't had Scythe for ages, so it kind of leaves my mind. I forget that people are buying it all over the world. It's a really popular game. Of course, people are watching it. Do you find that doing playthroughs has an effect on when you play games for pleasure? Ongoing internal commentary. I do speak in I don't think it's a particular voice, but there's a particular kind of manner of speaking where I'm narrating what my turns are and stuff, and maybe over describing games. Not for a video. I'm describing it the right amount for a video, but if you're just playing a game with someone, I'm over describing things, and I definitely do that. Rach has to tell me to stop doing that. It's just like a mode that gets snapped into in games, I think. Rach is here. Rach is going to burst in. Hi, Rach. You're live.
Hi.
You're live on YouTube.
Tom does commentate his actions. I was just.
Oh, were you?
I've just come home.
You're quiet, Rach.
I don't speak loudly. He does commentate his actions as we play games. I just heard you say that's what you do, you narrate.
Yeah, I try to stop it, but I don't really know that I'm doing it. But there is, like, I'm not very good at. I don't really write things down as well. I think that I wish I'd gotten into that habit of stuff. We would think things when we are playing the games, and then when I do first impressions or something, I think multicam might be disappearing soon, and I haven't done it since the beginning, so I'll put multicam on for a little bit. Yeah, the first impressions videos are all, as kind of all of the channel is, just off the top of my head. So that's kind of a function of not writing stuff down. But there are times where I wish I'd gotten into the habit of, even if it was just bullet points, of just writing down something that important that I wanted to say about a game, because there are plenty of times where afterwards I think I didn't make that point that I really, really wanted to make about the game. So yeah, doing playthroughs as well, as less so recently, as I mentioned, but it definitely for a while it got to a point where the games that, because really, like I said, Rach is a teacher and they work long hours. She didn't really fancy playing games in the weekdays, so we play them at the weekends. There was definitely a big chunk of time where, okay, here is the prescripted games we need to play this weekend because I need to film them on X day. So this is the weekend, basically. We have to play games, and they have to be these games, which, you know, is plenty. We're excited to play and stuff, but sometimes, especially after a big run of it, anyone will start to, you know, wear down from that. Whereas I think that there is a better balance now. It's particularly with, you know, if it's a game that I can play solo and I can do a live stream of as well, that is a way of easing some of the pressure too. Like, I can't remember which live stream I did where I was learning the game. Are you joining us, Rach?
A little bit. It's really hot in here.
Yeah, it's really hot in this room. I can't remember which game I did where I did a live stream. This isn't a top 10 anymore, by the way. I'll make a timestamp at some point. Just turn it into a Q&A bit. But did I do a live stream where I was kind of learning a game, refreshing myself on it, as well as... Well, I was learning Mage Knight, wasn't I? I was going through the walkthrough for that.
Cloudspire?
Yeah, and Paul was helping me through Cloudspire the other day as well. I think because that's another thing as well that Paul's been doing for ages, streams where, not all the time, but sometimes he will unbox a... Correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. He will unbox a game, learn the game on camera, and you can watch him learn the game and then play it. And yeah, I think if I did that sometimes as well, again, not for every game, it would be a way of, you know, we don't necessarily need to play that particular game at this time. It can be a live stream and then maybe play it later. But we've had more time for playing stuff lately, haven't we? We haven't played Medora for a couple of weeks now, which is worrying that it'll get to that drop-off point again. We need the microphone in a completely different place for you, Rach.
I'll just have to try and shout.
Yeah, because I'm much louder than Rach, and the microphone's right next to me. I'm still on camera. Do you like the new camera angle, Rach?
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be the main one. You can see the stats, though. Let me catch back up. Bears. Yeah, slipping back is just... That's another thing as well. It's just like a big cycle of stuff, isn't it? You'll realise, like a few months ago, that, oh, I've slipped back into doing this thing. I'm trying to make too much again. Oh, like it happened when I very first, like I mentioned earlier on, that I used to try and do a video every Wednesday and Sunday right at the start of the channel. And I think it was something John Gets Games said, or we did it at a similar time, just independently, of just kind of taking that schedule off. When I did that back then, I suddenly realised, oh wow, this is so much better not having the pressure of having to make these videos. And even though now there is a schedule again, because live has to happen at a certain time, I don't feel that pressure this time. I haven't felt that pressure. And that's because the most time-intensive part of editing the stuff is cut down, because I'm sticking to one of that. But yeah, I will hopefully find some balance in the live things and not slip back again. Yeah, the algorithms make no sense, and I don't understand them. I think that people liking and interacting, you know, that's what's kind of driven negative videos on YouTube. Not of board games, I don't think, but yeah, the more interaction, whether it's likes or dislikes, whether someone says a nice thing or a nasty thing, all of it is interaction, and that's what YouTube wants. Not even necessarily like watching and subscribing. That surely helps in some way, but it's interaction is what drives things for YouTube, because they want you to stay on the site, they want you to watch adverts. But yeah, it's an inscrutable algorithm that I don't even know if liking and commenting does make a difference. I hope it does. No, I'm still not doing this full time. I am getting there, much closer than I have ever been to it. But yeah, still another job. Joel, yes, I enjoy the live throughs that we do together. We have done Mage Knight against each. Well, we've done loads now, but recently we've done Mage Knight against each other. We've done Cloud Spire helping each other, both solo, and we did Codenames Duet. We did Hallertau, as I mentioned. We've done plenty together now. Where? Hi, Kelly. Yes, the beauty of YouTube, the beauty of all this live stuff as well is even if you can't watch it live, even if you do miss some of it, it's all there. You can rewind straight away. You're doing a massive Roll to Resolve playthrough. Is it Pathfinder? We played Pathfinder, didn't we? Only the very first one. I think we liked it for a bit and then dropped off. I don't think we got that far into it. I remember liking it. I don't remember why we stopped playing it. Michael, your supervisor expects you to do work things. What kind of slave driver is he? Should let you off to watch board game videos. Caveat is, yeah, I think that's definitely something that's changed. I used to be a lot more kind of looking at the YouTube app or the analytics page, and I still do see it. Like, I am usually on that page every day, getting the live. What's it called? The page for the live thing. I can't remember. The streaming page that tells you all of the stats and tells you that yes, your stream is actually working. So I'm on there all the time. I'll click at the analytics still, but the actual ins and outs of how many views a particular video has gotten, it's more like, oh wow, this particular one is doing surprisingly well, rather than just a kind of obsession with getting a certain number up, because ultimately there's nothing you can do about it other than just make things. You don't know how it's going to influence anything. Like, the one thing that I forgot to say about all of the live stuff is that whether it's just a coincidence with all of the other stuff, I think there's been an uptick in subscribers and views and patrons in the last month. But who knows though, because you can never know, right? It could have. Maybe it would have happened anyway, but I don't know. Have I missed anything here? No. Catching up. Rach. Bez has got a question for you. Have I started doing it more since doing videos?
You commentating?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did I used to do it before?
Not really. And he also reads rule books in his slickerdrips video voice as well, as if he's practicing reading it for the video.
I don't.
He doesn't know he's doing it.
And I don't really do that voice when I'm making videos that much, really. It's just a proper. That's a.
I guess it's your teacher voice.
Yeah, that's a proper, like, if I did make a how to play video for Dice Hospital actually, and I don't think I did that voice then either. Another thing that has changed over the 5 years, I used to be very concerned about kind of seeming conversational, but I think that just happens anyway, and pronouncing things in a more acceptable way. But I'm not as bothered about that anymore. It's pronounced book. It is. Yeah, Marty and Rach. Is Marty still there?
Yeah.
There he is. I forgot to, with all of my buttons for all of the
Give him a little.
All of the 1 to 10s and stuff, I forgot there's different pages in this. Another top tip from Paul Grogan to get this stream buttony thing. Will that bring it back to us? Yes. Things have got the wrong names on them though. I haven't fixed that right. But yeah, we're all here. I should get it would interrupt the stream right now, but can I quickly get Marty up there? I know I said it would interrupt the stream and then just started doing it. But if we can have him small in the corner. Sorry, Rach. There he is. I should just have a normal view where he's there.
Massive blob.
Yeah.
Chubstick.
Well, the perspective of the camera isn't doing him any favours, but yeah, he is a bit of a blob. Yes, it's turned into top 11. And mostly now behind the scenes for patrons. It seems as well like, yeah, because Paul did one for Cloudspire, which I was watching to desperately learn it before we did that stream. It does seem like I thought today when I knew I wouldn't have time to finish the game of Cloudspire, or I might have. Like, you just think that the camera is set up and is looking down at this game. You know, it maybe is too much to just make them proper streams and stuff and just be pestering people with notifications, maybe. But for patrons and stuff, yeah, you could just watch me playing it. Yeah, it's just helpful. It's like for the Cloudspire one, it's helpful having people in chat that they'll have different experience levels with the game, and sometimes people will just spot something that you've missed. Oh yes, Janeway, Makata is definitely next week, but I have done a playthrough for that before. But it was a 2-player one. It's been requested solo this time. So yes, definitely Makata next week. I'm not quite sure of everything else. I would like to do Cloudspire just to, like with Mage Knight. I did a Mage Knight one pretty soon after the first one, a couple of weeks I think, because I didn't want it to start slipping away. I think once you have kept up the repetition of some of these more complicated games, once it's locked in, hopefully it will stay there. I don't know. It all slips away eventually. Most of your Mage Knight games are still learning games. Yes. I know the feeling of that. I am definitely still learning. But they can hear you okay, Rach. I am just talking, but they can hear you okay when you talk.
It's alright then.
What questions have you got for Rach?
No, don't ask
Well, this
me
wasn't
anything.
this
Don't
wasn't supposed
ask
to be
me
a Q&A,
anything.
but I like that it has turned into that. Where have I? Yes. Can hear you okay. I want to see and learn Cloud Age from scratch. I still haven't played Cloud Age or seen anything about it. But after realising my mistake missing out on Maracaibo, I should probably catch up. We're playing Talisman together.
How are you? Planning all these secret streams without telling me.
They do Kingdom Hearts Talisman, Rach.
All you need.
I think Talisman is very much a game we wouldn't get on with.
I thought you meant you were playing. You're playing Talisman.
I think Paul's joke. Are you joking, Paul? Because Talisman is a game that I wouldn't like. I think I don't know much. I don't know enough about Talisman to know that though. That's what I think that he's saying. Oh, Marty's adjusted himself. Make sure he's always there. Yeah, it's a top 10 and a Q&A. Like, I always think that with the live videos that the time stamp at the end when it turns into like a 3-hour, 4-hour playthrough, that people are gonna be put off clicking on it. But I do put timestamps in the description so people can skip all the starting soon, is the audio working stuff, and then at the end, like, this is the post stuff. But I imagine, like, this isn't as normal a top 10, is it? It's not a ranking of things. It's very nebulous and self-indulgent. But hey, that's if anniversaries aren't times when you can be self-indulgent, when can you be? Never. I don't know much about Talisman either. I know that they've done a Kingdom Hearts one. And if they've done like, I don't think it's Marvel. Yeah. Vicky has to tell you to stop doing the voice. It's
the most annoying time is when it's near the end of the game and Tom has clearly won, and it's almost like he's smugly commentating, and he's not, but it's like smugly commentating his last final move, which is going to get him like 50 points or something.
Yeah, I just like narrating everything.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need to know. Don't need to know.
Yeah,
I'm going to go here, and then 50 points to me.
And like part of, not late on into games, but like early on into games, I try and do it as well to like, and it's why you do it in the playthrough too. But part of it is like just explaining why I'm doing something in case like the rules haven't been as clear as to why this thing is good. And like a lot of the time when we're playing a game for the first time, I don't know if it's good. I'm just kind of like, or saying like early on in the game, these are the rules as I understand them. Like, am I right about that? Like, this is what I am doing. Did it say that I could do that? But yeah, I think when I listened back to those first videos, I was doing a voice. Not like massively, but I was doing a bit of a voice that I do less of now. And then in the GridCon video, and I should put a little addendum that I did what was it for? Gloomhaven wooden insert. That character returned.
That should be top 10.
That character returned for that video. It's not much of a voice,
like
but it's
80s game show showing you what the prizes are.
It's a persona for sure. But yeah, if you watch one video, GridCon. It's different accents from Paul, but terrible at detecting accents. Do you do many accents, Paul? I know what there is like a video voice that just ends up happening. Like I was always very much like just insistent right at the start that there wasn't going to be like it was all going to be natural and real and all of this stuff, but it just ends up being a part of it. Doesn't like consciously. Oh yeah, it's the first time all three are on screen with this special Technicolor Marty up in the corner.
We were all on stream. He was in the middle.
Yeah, I think.
Time.
Well, like
at
normally,
the end of the other one.
Normally the template has got like the camera in the corner of the screen with me on it, and it isn't like a whole screen thing like it is now. But that's off for this altered template. So when Marty's on, just like the normal Marty cam, it's just Marty and just a voiceover. But hey, things will change around. I would hate Talisman. If you used to play it for 8 hours, I feel already like I would hate Talisman. Marty cam is another thing though, where like because I was trying to do this with webcams at some point, and I got really frustrated with how terrible it looked trying to do it with webcams. But I ended up having the webcams. There's one that's until today a webcam's been looking at me, and the other one that I bought, I was thinking I'm going to sell this. I've wasted my money on a webcam, and it just happened to be pointed near where Marty likes to sleep, and so Marty cam is born. It is a party. This is the 5th anniversary. I feel like I should have gotten. You should have drawn balloons and stuff, Rach, to put all around the sides of the screen.
I already killed a nerve drawing
Everyone,
Marty.
Yeah, Rach has injured her thumb doing that drawing of anniversary Marty. By the way,
Killed a nerve.
but you missed. I don't think I can scroll all that way back now, but people were very complimentary about the
Thanks,
various
everybody.
Martys
Thank
and anniversary Marty especially.
2 hours it took me, and many scrunched up bits of paper.
After 6 hours or so of Talisman, wondering whether to go on or not. Oh wow! But I think back. I don't know when it was before. I think Rach and I were playing games, but like we had like a great big all-day 6-player game of Arkham Horror at one point. It would have taken all day, and I remember everyone enjoyed it, but I feel like now that would never happen, and that nobody would enjoy that. But it just depends, wouldn't it? Paul's got to go. I think we have got to go at a certain point.
Paul.
We've got to eat. Food rulebook and then Pathfinder. Have a good stream, Paul. But and Paul wouldn't even play Talisman either. So I think it's about 6 o'clock. My quick anniversary top 10 turned into a 2-hour stream, but I'm pretty pleased about that. I've had a lot of fun and a lot of just motor mouthing about everything. Really, a big reminisce and just pushing videos that maybe didn't get many views. Maybe rightly so, because they're not proper playthroughs. But if you like daft board game adjacent things, give some of them a watch. So thank you for joining me at any point through the last 5 years, keep on trucking. Keep on subscribing and liking and watching all of the things. Let me know what you want to see. Sign up to be a patron if you like. I like that I can point directly at this in this camera angle. I will tell the stream robot to tell you about that link, but I think I've said it plenty of times through this video, haven't I? Thank you very much for helping this keep going, really, through all of the various ways. Thank you for hanging out with us on the 5th anniversary. And just thank you for being here in general. Thank you for being you. We are going to go. It's going to be the credits. I should have had this ready. Thank you very much for watching. Many years to come. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Only 4?
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Well, then we have another election to see if there's going to be more slicker drips. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.